Hello, I'm Karina Sephora Mentzoff, and today we are preparing for the 10th visit from the Academe of the Oaks. It's a private Waldorf school here in Atlanta, in Decatur actually. And for about 10 years we have been working with this group of kids doing the Blacksmithing Block is what they call it. So it's kind of like a quarter or semester, but a section of their year where they focus on blacksmithing. And I actually went to Waldorf school when I was a little kid, so a lot of the philosophy has to do with learning by working with your hands. And so this is a prime environment for them to be learning and working with their hands. We're going to start out today with doing a demo in this room with the mentors. So you guys, I'll have you spread out. Remember, the fire, the heat will be right here. This is something that I couldn't do alone. So I have a group of mentors that I've been working with, and some of them work with me regularly in the studio, and some are students of mine from my evening classes. And it's been a real treat to get to work with this group and us getting to know each other and being mentors and working with the children.
My name's Jake Wooldridge. I came to work with Karina about this time last year, and I was trained by Daniel, one of the kids that actually came the first year through Academe of the Oaks to this studio. I see a lot of similarities between myself and all the kids and the way they're learning and how they're warming up to the practices and the techniques that we're using, becoming more comfortable with the metal. And just being more engaged with it, more enthusiastic, more confident in their ability to create something.
Hey, my name is Arjan Snelson. I've been a student of Karina's for several months now. She asked me to mentor the kids. I have children of my own, so I said it would be a great thing to try to do. These kids are a little older than mine. They're really well-behaved kids. They're very eager to learn, so it's really a pleasure to teach them. Working with the kids has been really pleasurable. I've kind of worked with a tight group to start with. Today was our 4th day in the shop with the kids, so my group kind of spread out. At this point, we're working on different things, so the kids kind of spread out, and I did work with some of the other kids that I haven't worked with yet. Everybody's doing really well. Today, you gotta remember in the shop, we're working with really hot things, we're working with really dangerous things. The kids are really good about listening. We were hammering in a group, so it's very much about who works in a certain order, how they hit, so you don't get tangled up with each other. And it's very much a learning process for the mentor and for the kids, how to do that interactive process.
Hey, my name is Tony Simmons. I'm friends with Karina. She and I met in another class that the both of us were taking at the time. And she told me about this mentoring program that she has going on with some high school students, and I asked her if I could experience it, and she said yeah. What I did was showed them how to put the metal down on a press, then take a center punch and a hammer and hit the center punch to make a little indentation into the metal, and then so that when we put the piece of metal into the drill press, they would know exactly where the drill needed to hit on the piece of metal.
So we're not going to do the whole of one of these long pieces, but because it's brand new for you guys, remember, you guys are making all your individual pieces, and then we're doing a demo for what we'll do with one of the long pieces. So that's, we've worked ourselves up to the group part. And once we get the holes drilled, then eventually we'll be riveting them all together. That'll be in the next 2 weeks. So as an individual, right, we have a certain amount that we can do all on our own, right? But together as a group, right, we can create something totally different and unexpected, all right? The philosophy that we're working with these children is each student works on one component, on one piece. And there's an overall design that we've created, and each of the individuals, as their own individuals, makes a piece, and together we create a whole. So we combine all of the pieces. In the past, we've done very sculptural projects. This year, we're taking on something with a little bit of function. So it adds a couple steps of challenge. We're really excited about the projects that we're working on, and just the philosophy that brings people together, that we're each individuals, but together we create a whole.
I didn't really know what blacksmithing was at first. I thought it was just like metalworking, you heat up something and you bend it somehow. But I mean, it's much more than that, because you hammer stuff and you work together to make cool pieces like this and stuff.
I thought it was a really good idea because blacksmithing is sort of like a lost art. You don't really hear about it that often, and I don't really have the chance to do that anywhere else, so that was a great idea.
I think it's really fun. I've never done anything like this before, and it's a really great experience. I'm learning new skills that I'm sure I will use later, and I love crafting things, so I can add that to a resume if I'm going to go to an art school or something like that.
We have 2 stations that will be set up outside, and what we'll do, because one thing that we've really got to get done is we've really got to get our long pieces done. So we'll have a couple stations set up inside to be doing the group striking on the long pieces, okay? We'll get some teams set up, okay? Because we've really got to get these all hammered out. Listen up, okay? We want to get these all hammered out, Mara, so that we can do all of our riveting next week, right? The goal is that when you guys get on the bus at the end, you get to bring the pieces with you, all right? So the rivets are in the mail right now, on their way here.
We learned how to work with hot metal and to hammer hot pieces and work together with striking. And
we were working in a striking group, and we each take turns hammering, and I use this hammer, and it's pretty best. I think it's best suited for me.
well, this piece is going to go on a bigger project, which is a magazine stand. And we all created these pieces with spirals on the end that were our individual art, and we sort of worked over time. And it took a lot of work, but we all worked together and it was really fun.
This piece is just a tiny part of this thing that we're making for, it's like a bookshelf kind of set that's going to be holding magazines. And this was at first going to be a surprise for our principal, which kind of didn't turn out like a surprise, but this is like part of the shelf. And there'll be like another piece here all the way at the bottom, and there'll be more and more, and each person got to make one of these.
When you're blacksmithing, you learn to work as a team. You're kind of forced to cooperate with the team and be very aware of everything that's going on, and you have to communicate using your voice and body gestures and all sorts of stuff. It's a very good team building sort of thing that helps the class get to know each other.
I enjoyed all of it, and the striking was neat to see how we worked together. And then the one-on-one was fun to do the curls and to make it look pretty. And
what makes it really fun is the just being able to see your progress, and that everyone's working together on this one common goal. And it's very easy to see how close we're getting to this place. And it's always fun to work with our hands and build all sorts of stuff. And yeah, it's very enjoyable.
We had a mentor program last year where I went to school. It was pretty, I like having a mentor. You have someone to talk to, someone to open up to. And yeah, it's pretty, I like having a mentor.
With working with the kids, it's just, I guess as we get older, we forget to just have fun. And that's all they're about. And it kind of reminds me to do that. And then also to see that sense of accomplishment that they get from finishing it. And also from going from the very beginning stages of what are we doing? They don't know. We tell them to do this step, and they don't understand how that step fits into the whole scheme of things. And slowly, little by little, you can tell that they're realizing how everything is going to come together, and and it really motivates them. And then that sense of accomplishment that they get, I guess it's a sense of accomplishment, but it's that excitement that they get, that's really awesome to see.
There's a term that's actually a term that comes from Africa, and it is called Nyama. And what Nyama means is the life force and the work that is put into something, right? The energy, right? So while we're all hammering on this metal, we're putting our life force into it, right? And this word is called Nyama. So it's like part of your spirit, you could say, is being imbued into the material, all right?
My name is Eva Hanchin. I'm the school director of Academy of the Oaks High School. We are a Waldorf high school. We are 10 years old now, and I'm one of the founders of the school. You know, as a Waldorf high school, arts are important to us. We are not an art school, we are a rigorous college prep high school, but the arts are important. It balances the human being. It's important to learn the arts, to work with your hands at the other side. That also makes you better students because it does speak to the whole human being. So we do a lot of art with our students as well as service learning. Very challenging to work with iron and then to learn how to master that. That's quite an accomplishment for them. And it's also, of course, very beautiful to work with Corinna as a master blacksmith, and the students just admire her, and she is such a wonderful teacher.
It's going to be great to get to see this come full cycle, and some of the students have really, gotten used to being here, and I can already tell that a few of them are really going to be missing it when they go back to, back to their regular school schedule. And, us here, we've also gotten used to having Tuesdays and Thursdays, really 22 children, 14 and 15 years old in the studio.
Since we're all so new to blacksmithing and we've never done it before, basically, any of us. I mean, I think a few of us have heard about it, but none of us have ever done it before. It's a good way for all of us to work together, especially.
I came in with doubts that it'd be any fun or that I'd learn anything, but I have a lot, actually. I've learned that it isn't near as easy as they make it look, and that, I mean, even though it's a little out there for everyday life, it's pretty fun.
We have been working with with the school for about 10 years, and once and occasionally more than once a year, they come for a section. They call it the block, the Blacksmithing Block.
So in the beginning, Corinna thought it may be nice if each student does a piece. So we had all those nice little pieces, but during the year we thought it may be nice to have a group project. So kind of each student is challenged to do a small piece, but then it comes all together. And this is just very beautiful because it also teaches them teamwork and to work in a group and to respect each other and learn from each other. And that is, of course, so beautifully tied also to our philosophy here at the school.
We've got some great, exciting things on the horizon, projects and whatnot, but it really is, once again, a joy to get to work with these students and get to see the transformation that they have in being in this environment and learning something that is so unusual.
Oh yeah, it was fun. We got to learn new techniques and how to hammer, how to drill, and how to flatten out the metal and stuff like that. It was cool.
We have a few pieces here. We have one in particular you need to see. It's the school's logo, and that was actually the first group piece we did. It was quite challenging, but it's beautiful. I'm happy to show it to you. And then we have a couple of other pieces here. One right here in the entrance, a group piece, and then I think we had a few giving up in the auction last year, which was very successful.
Today has been the final day of working with the children, with the students from the Academy of the Oaks, and this year was once again, a wonderful year. A whole group of kids. The group keeps growing and growing, and you know, I really we had it set up so there were different groups and different mentors, and I had one core group that I worked with, but I got an opportunity to work with most of the kids in the group as well, in the whole class as well. This is where we want to be at the end of the day today. So one thing, we all started individually and started working together as groups, and today I'm going to ask a couple of things of you. Some of the groups are at different stages, and I've been working with your group leaders this morning and getting them all set up for the next few steps.
I think initially the kids don't know who you are. You're a strange, bearded, hairy-looking dude, and all these guys. And it's a rough environment. It's not a school environment, so it really takes them out of their comfort zone. And then after a while, they realize your humanity and that you're human as well. And so they develop this relationship with you. And then small personal relationships, you start getting names, and they start getting yours, and you realize the kind of relationship that you're establishing, even on a subconscious level. They may not understand it in a year or two, but the effect you have. And the ability to help them take something that's very personalized, like one piece of steel, and then apply it to a group setting.
I'm going to be moving around a little bit. The group that I worked with, we have a few finishing things to do on this one. And notice all the little rivets, all the little parts that everybody made together. And we've got 2 more on the table that are really close to being complete, John's group and Arjan's group. And Shapur is in here. He has a little bit of touch-up work. So with that being said, today is our day of focus, okay?
It was really cool actually working with the mentors, because like each one had their own little way to do things. So there's like one person that liked to do one step before the other one. So let's pretend like they had their own skills, and it was pretty cool passing around each person. Like I got to do that, some people didn't, but like you could see each person had different skills in different parts of blacksmithing.
So we've had a couple of really great weeks here with all of you, and we've accomplished a lot, and we've been productive, and you've all learned something, haven't you? It really is wonderful to see a whole project come together, to see the vision of each individual student creating their own piece, their own part, and having that all come together as one whole. I just want to let you know that it's been a pleasure having you guys here, and you all have worked tremendously well together and tremendously well outside of your environment. And I want to also ask, you know how every class we've said something special, all the mentors have said something special to you? I was wondering on the count of 3 if you could say something special to the mentors. What do you think?
Yeah,
Can you do that? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank